Let's get that positive energy going and go on with our lesson. Welcome back, boys and girls. Listen to these words and listen for the sound in the final or last position. Candy, 20, clumsy. What sound do you hear in the final position? Candy, 20, clumsy. We hear the E sound at the end of each of these words. Let's take a look at these words up on the board. Candy, 20, clumsy. What is making the E sound? We see the letter Y is making the E sound at the end of each of these words. Will the Y be a vowel or a consonant? The Y is going to be a vowel because it's in the final position of the word. We code Y's when they act like vowels with dots on top of them. How many syllables are in each of these words? Candy, 20, clumsy. There are 2 syllables in each of these words. These words are 2-syllable words, so we will use our syllable dividing pattern to divide them before coding. When we code the words, we'll write V's under the Y's because the Y acts like a vowel when it's in the medial or final position. We will draw our syllable divider lines, and then we're going to put an accent after the first syllable. Look at the vowel Y in each of these words. Is it in the accented syllable? No. When vowel Y is open and not accented, it usually says E. Vowel Y can make 2 sounds, I and E, just like the vowels A, E, I, O, and U can make 2 sounds. If you see a vowel Y and you don't know where the accent is, try both sounds and see which one sounds right. This will tell you where to put the accent. If the Y says I, it is most likely accented. If the Y says E, it is most likely not accented. Since neither a breve nor macron will indicate that this Y says E, we will leave the vowel coding off except for the dot. Let's finish coding these words. Let's start with our first word, candy. Let's finish coding the first syllable. What other coding does it need? Look at the vowel. It's followed by a consonant, so we're going to code it with a breve. We also have the letter C, so we're going to draw a K back to remind ourselves that it makes the K sound. Let's go to the next word. Let's code our first syllable. We have a vowel followed by a consonant, so we're going to code it with a breve. And our last word. We also have a vowel followed by a consonant, so we'll code it with a breve. Let's take a look at these words. We have the word symbol and the word type. What vowel does the Y sound like in the word symbol? It sounds like a short I going I. So how would we code it? We would code it with a dot and a breve. So vowel Y has 3 sounds. Let's look at the word type. What vowel does the Y sound like in the word type? It sounds like a long I. So we will code it with a dot and a macron. Remember that the vowel Y may be found in any situation that the vowel I might be in. Let's finish coding these words. Let's start with the word symbol. We see a vowel, consonant, consonant, vowel pattern. So we're going to draw our syllable divider line and put an accent after the first syllable. We already coded our first syllable when we were talking about the vowel Y. So now let's finish coding our second syllable. We have a vowel followed by a consonant. So we're going to code it with a breve. And when we read this word, we have the word symbol. Symbol? That doesn't sound quite right. I'm going to change that breve to a schwa. And I'm going to make that O go And now I have the word symbol. The Statue of Liberty is an important symbol to our country. That sounds much better with the schwa, so let's leave it like that. Now let's go ahead and code our other word. Look carefully at the end. What do you see? That's right, we have a sneaky E, and that's what's causing that Y to make the long I sound. And that's why we coded it with a macron. So today, boys and girls, we learned some more about vowel Y. So when we see this card, we're going to say vowel Y. And we also learned about a new sound that vowel Y makes. So to help us remember it, we have the keyword candy. So when we see this card, we're going to say candy E. Now before today, when I tell you the E sound, you have been saying and writing digraph E, comma, E, final digraph E. But today we're going to add a new response. Since we learned about vowel Y today, we're going to add it to our response. So from now on, when I say E, you should say and write digraph E, comma, E, final digraph E, comma, vowel Y. Good job, boys and girls. Let's go ahead and let's practice coding some words up on the board. But before we begin, let's review some of our rules. How do we code Y's that sound like I? A Y that sounds like I, we code with a macron and dot. How do we code a Y that sounds like E? We coded with a dot. Let's go ahead and let's practice. We have this sentence that we're going to code right here, and let's start with our first word in the sentence. Look carefully at this word. At the end of the word, we see a Y. Remember, when Y is at the end or in the middle of a word, it's most likely going to act like a vowel. So let's code it with a dot to remind ourselves that it's acting as a vowel. Now, let's code our vowels and consonants. I see a vowel, consonant, consonant, vowel pattern. So I'm going to draw our syllable divider line and put an accent mark after the first syllable. Let's go ahead and let's code our first syllable. I see a vowel followed by a consonant. So I'm going to code it with a breve. Now let's go ahead and move on to our next word. Look carefully at the end of the word. We see final stable syllable PLE. So we're going to go ahead and bracket it off, and we're going to cross out our E because it is silent. And we're going to put an accent mark after our first syllable. Now let's go ahead and code our first syllable. Look at the vowel. Think about this carefully. Is the vowel followed by a consonant? Remember, final stable syllable PLE is separate, so let's pretend that it's not there. So that means we have an open, accented vowel, and it gets coded with a macron, and it's going to be long. Now let's look at our next word. Look at the end of the word. We have suffix S. And I know that when suffix S comes after a vowel sound, it's going to make its voiced sound. So let's draw a voice line through it to remind ourselves that it's going to make the Z sound. Now let's code our vowel. What do you see? Yes, we have a vowel digraph. Digraph EE. So we're going to underline digraph EE, and we're going to cross out the second E, and we're going to put a macron on top of the first E to remind us that it's making the long E sound, going E, E, E. Now let's go to the next word. That's one of our sight words, so let's circle it because it's a word that we know. Now the next one. I see a vowel followed by a consonant, so I'm going to code it with a breve. Now let's move on to the next one. Oh, what do we see at the end of the word? Vowel Y is at the end of the word. And this time vowel Y is going to make the I sound, so we're going to put a macron over it. And remember, one-syllable words are always accented. Now our last word. Look for the vowel. What do you see next to it? Yes, that's making combination AR. Now let's read our sentence together. 60 maple trees are in my yard. That's a lot of trees for somebody's yard. They must have a very big yard. Great job today, boys and girls. We worked more with vowel Y. Keep an eye out for it in your reading and your writing. And we'll see you later. Bye.